Hello peeps, it's the Hillbilly Halfwit here, doing a quick video today. Um, some weird stuff happening, isn't there? Gotta say, I was catching up on the normal media this afternoon, this morning, and I noticed some weird write-up in the Wales on Sunday. This is a write-up in the Wales on Sunday, basically saying it as it was written down. Far-right protesters were going to protest outside the Senedd, and they'd applied to have a protest, but they didn't turn up, so there was no far-right protest there. But counter demonstrators were there, and the police were keeping an eye on them. And I noticed they were all got Palestinian flags, and so I assume that counter far-right protests are communist, are they? So there was no far-right protest at all outside the Senedd because they didn't turn up, but there was a far-left communist protester, but they didn't. That was called a counter-protest. It's the most bizarrest language we're hearing at the moment, isn't it? And I was looking at some of the other things. Obviously, there's lots of rioting and things going on, and you know what I think about that. It's been sort of stirred up to get more laws against protest, but it seems to be getting a bit out of hand, and by the look of it, lots of the white working class are getting a bit het up and joining in on all this, and they're being called right-wing loons or whatever. I don't know enough about it, to be honest. I haven't been keeping my eye out on it all, but it just seems bizarre that if anybody protests against something that they don't like, it's called right-wing, and if people protesting against the right wing are called counter-protesters, not far-left protesters, isn't it? So communists protesting against the far right is the most bizarre thing. I've got to be honest with you, I don't think there's such a thing as a far right anymore. I think there's just protest myself, but there we are. But I think my definition of far right used to be a person who hates the Jews to start with, and wants to trample over everybody else, and wants to stop free speech. They want to collect data on you, like the Stasi did, and I suppose that's the sort of thing that happened. They were a bit more communist, but they'd collected data on people to use against them. And then people in their own family were self-censoring themselves and reporting their own family in the Stasi. So that sort of communism and right-wing stuff, far left and far right, are basically the same thing in my book. So how one gets reported differently than the other, I don't know. But we're in a weird old time at the moment. One thing I will say, it has changed. It does seem like the approval rating for Starmer was it 15% or 30%? I can't quite remember. I did read it before, and it's gone down to 2. So we're definitely in a weird situation at the moment. Starmer looks like he's on a bit of a sticky wicket there, doesn't he? So, like I say, I don't watch the normal media. I keep out of it all, and I just look at a little bit of it to see what's going on. And I haven't really been watching it much the last few days. So this was just a short one today, because I've been busy trying to fix my truck, and I'm having problems. The steering pipes have gone on it, and they keep bursting all the time. So that's just a short one for today. What's happening? What's going to happen? God only knows. Please comment, rate and subscribe. It's nice to hear your views. Ta-da.